Hello, my name is Xiaohui Jiang, and today I want to introduce the paper named whose name is "The Smart City as a Field of Innovation: Effects of Public-Private Collaboration on the Innovative Performance of SMEs in China." Now I will share my screen. So smart city nowadays is a very popular and hot topics all over the world. And in China, it is especially experiencing rapidly developed process. There are nearly 800 smart city pilot projects in China, and among them, around 300 comes from the Ministry of Housing and Urban-Rural Development, which means that these are mainly state-led projects. And in 2016, China announced in its 13th five-year plan to accelerate the building of a digital China through the Internet Plus strategy. So smart city projects has a very important national strategy position in China. And also Chinese government from all different levels have guaranteed the projects have generous support, financial support from the government. For example, Xiong'an Smart City project cost 3 million RMB in China. Also, this is a very precious opportunity for SMEs in China because the major innovation challenges for SMEs are lack of funding and lack of R&D activities. So SMEs making use of the smart city projects in China, SMEs can therefore gain support gain the financial support and conduct more R&D activities to fulfill the gap between SMEs and large firms in China. And SMEs also play a very important role in China because they're responsible for nearly 70% of technical innovation in China. So in terms of quantity, its role cannot be neglected by Chinese government. There are different types of smart city projects in China, including smart health, smart government, smart agriculture, smart environment, smart traffic, and so on. So it is sometimes very difficult to categorize a smart city project. So here, in terms of different types of services provided by the contractors, we have divided the smart city contracts into three types, which includes equipment purchase, platform building, and data analysis. So each of them represent the specific skills needed in the contract. And SMEs can have a very important role in promoting innovation in China because it is a very important driver of innovation, and innovation is a very important driver for high quality economic development. So SMEs can play a very important role in China's economy. Government has done a lot of things to support SMEs. The involvement of the private sectors in smart city projects has prized its advantages, flexibility, and quick consumer responsiveness. So these are the advantages by cooperating with private firms. And also, Ministry of Industry and Information Technology has planned to promote the development of small and medium-sized enterprises. Also, more concretely, Chinese government used procurement to encourage the development of SMEs by exclusively allowing SMEs to come for the bid for important government projects. Government support smart city projects also at the national strategy level because it has been mentioned previously in the 13th five-year plan, and also there are abundant fundings and opportunities for SMEs to be involved in smart city projects. So here is our research question. How collaboration with the government can help improve the innovation performance of SMEs in China? There are several hypotheses, so our expectation is that if the companies can manage to obtain the equipment purchase type of contracts, then the companies are expected to have a significant increase in innovation outputs because they therefore can have more data resources and funding resources from the government because data analysis because they are not and then the second hypothesis is that the companies that obtained platform building types of contracts will have a slight increase in innovation outputs compared to the companies that get data analysis types of contracts. So our expectation is that the influence of contracts on innovation ability comes in this order. So data analysis should be bigger than platform building, and platform building should be bigger than equipment purchase, because we consider this based on the technology level involved in this contract. This table has introduced the main data source descriptions. Our data source mainly comes from government procurement website, and Tianyancha is a website that aggregates different levels of information about the technology companies in China. Also, we also used National Bureau of Statistics as a reference about our confounding variables. In the next section, we're going to talk about how we identify different types of contracts. We identify different types of contracts mainly using the keyword identification methods. So first of all, we constructed the database from 2013 to 2020 from the official government procurement website. There are over 8 million entries in this database. Then we identified relevant 3 types of contracts through keywords. So these are the keywords we used in our analysis. It is evident that we are more strict with the word data analysis because we want to make sure that the companies are actually conducting data analysis related work. Also, in terms of SMEs identification, according to the official identification from the government website, there are a lot of companies in China. Then we further narrowed down the scope to select the SMEs that have with innovation output, for example, patents or software copyrights. If they are not conducting any innovative activities, then we will not consider it as an SME in our paper. Here we can see the figure 1 is the number of patents and software copyrights productions of SMEs from 1990 to 2020. There is a growing trend over time. So we're wondering what causes the growth. Here, because the treatment group and control group, the treatment group means that the companies get government contracts, and the control group means the companies that do not get government contracts. There is a huge gap between the number of these 2 types of companies. So in order to match appropriate control and treatment group, we used propensity score matching to do that. This is a popular matching technique that constructs an artificial control group to estimate the effect of treatments on the outcomes. So we basically matched the corresponding control groups by using 3 characters: registered capital, which represents firm size; GDP per capita, which represent the provincial level economic development; industry code, which means the types of services and goods provided by the firm. Then we calculate the propensity scores of each firm. Finally, we matched the control group using one-to-one nearest neighbor matching. And then finally, we got these 6 separate groups based on different types of treatments and different types of outcome variables. We used PSN mainly to address selection bias and confounding variable problems. These are the graphs that shows our method of PSN is valid, because before and after, we can see there's a huge difference, and the number and the dots becomes more concentrated after matching, which is exactly what we want to do. Then we used average treatment effects then we checked the average treatment effects on the treated. We can see that there has been a very significant difference between the treatment and control group after matching. Here we comes to the result part. The companies that obtained equipment purchase type of contracts will not have a significant increase in innovation outputs. This is incorrect because all 3 types of contracts are positively related with the increase of innovation outputs with statistical significance. And hypothesis 2 says the companies that obtained platform building types of contracts will have a slight increase in innovation outputs. This is correct because some platform building contracts already require companies to produce software or mobile applications. And hypothesis 3 says the companies obtained data analysis type of contracts will have a significant increase in innovation outputs. This is also confirmed in our data analysis finding. In the next part, we're going to talk about Wuxi Smart City mobile phone application as a case study. In recent years, Chinese cities have launched various smart government apps, and Wuxi in Zhejiang province is also one of them. So this belongs to the platform building type of contracts. And this research method we're using is through interviewing the responsible person from the company. Wuxi Smart City mobile phone application offers a very diverse functions embedded in the app. So with just one app, you can use health code and online hospital consulting, transportation dynamic information, and also mobile payment, news posts, and so on. It claims that it has more than 170 services. So the cooperation mode with the government is that currently the ownership of public data in China is unclear. In practice, it belongs to the state. So the state is very discreet about how to deal with it. Only state-owned, in principle, only state-owned enterprises or the government can access the data directly. So when the private firms are involved, they need to find a new company with the government so that they can access the data. The government has a 51% share and private firm has 49%. And this is the new firm they formed together. However, in the process of talking to the responsible person from the private firm, he says that there requires very low techniques when building this app. So the founding is the government is very strict with the ownership of public data, and also all three types of contracts are positively correlated with the increase of innovation outputs. Among them, data analysis is the most effective way in improving innovative performance. Platform building and equipment purchase type of contracts have similar effects on improving the innovation performance. There are also some limitations in this study because many of the firms that we're dealing with are not listed companies, so they do not have R&D intensive data. Also, further statistical test is needed for evaluating the validity of the treatment and control groups before and after matching. Also, more interviews and case studies other than this one firm is needed in order to have a more comprehensive blueprints about this. Here are some further questions that are worth examining. More data analysis type of contracts can bring about a greater achievement in innovation performance for SMEs. So, why is SMEs important? And the further policy implications is more open access to data to SMEs or even the public can be helpful. So is it possible for the government to carry out these types of projects? Thank you very much. And this is my presentation for this paper.